Brought to you by Penguin.
The Politics of Time, Gaining Control in the Age of Uncertainty by Guy Standing. Read by Kerry Hutchinson. Preface. To linger over a drink, to lie in bed next to one's love, to strum a guitar or tinkle on the keyboard, to read or even scribble lines of poetry, to kick a ball 1,000 times with one's son or daughter, to run around the boundary hoping to stop a ball. Each of us has a long list of activities with which we would like to fill the unforgiving minutes. Time is precious. As we go through life, we surely come to appreciate that, whatever we do, we should aim to create good memories of how we use our time. Using time wisely is a skill sometimes learned, too often not. Sadly, in our modern hedonistic and materialistic market-driven society, too few people have enough control over their time to be able to develop or exercise that skill. But how can we change that? Through a new politics of time. 3 time regimes have defined human history over the past 2 millennia. Agrarian time, when the seasons and weather shaped how people used their time. Industrial time, when the clock was in the ascendant and life was defined in blocks of time. And tertiary time, characteristic of today's economies based on services rather than manufacturing or agriculture, when time-use boundaries have become blurred. All mainstream political agendas have had implicit positions on time. Many manifestos have included a commitment to reducing labour hours, for example. But an explicit politics of time has not figured in the narratives of political parties, and they've failed to give time freedom to direct one's own uses of time, the priority it deserves. I began work on the politics of time just before the coronavirus pandemic struck the world, and it features prominently in this book. While many commentators have said it changed everything, it is more accurate to say that it accelerated changes that were already underway. But from early on, it was clear that lockdowns and wage subsidy schemes were producing new forms of inequality and new forms of social and economic insecurity, once again providing evidence that the politics of time must be understood within an explicit class-based perspective. Many people work much more today than throughout most of human history, if you look at both paid and unpaid work. This is generating stress and illness on an epic scale. Revisiting John Maynard Keynes's essay, Economic Possibilities for Our Grandchildren, written at the height of the Great Depression in 1930, in which he predicted that by the end of the 20th century, people would be working on average only 15 hours a week, some commentators have identified the present malaise as the painfulness of readjustment between one economic period and another, to use Keynes's words. Journalist Suzanne Moore, in a perceptive article, suggests that culture and the arts should be guiding that readjustment, but implies that today they have largely lost the capacity to do so. This, in my view, reflects the erosion of the cultural commons in the recent era of rentier capitalism and the ideological knavery of austerity. Nevertheless, the fact is that nearly a century after Keynes made his prediction, it is nowhere near coming to pass, and we're most unlikely to achieve it. Indeed, my guess is that Keynes himself would never have considered reducing his work to 15 hours a week. He liked work too much. How then should we think about time in relation to the politics of time? Even the most authoritative philosopher of time, Gerald Whitrow, 1912 to 2000, acknowledged that it was difficult to define. In Chapter 1 of his book, What is Time, 1972, he recalls the quandary of a medieval priest who said that so long as nobody posed the question, what is time, he felt he knew the answer, but if he had to explain it to someone, he had to admit that he did not know. The idea of time must have crystallized as humans learned of their own mortality and the cycle of reproduction. It is the human condition to recognize life's...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?